let's look at, Gascoyne, outtake, Great Boulder. There's something that'd have to be on the radar, Wayne.
Look, I'm pretty... Have you guys got my office bugged? I mean, or can you read my whiteboard? I'm not sure what's going on here. Look.
Is Westgold set on that region, where whatever that region, like the Q Meekathiara region?
Other parts of the geography is not out of the question.
Were you a bit unhappy with the first letter that went out rejecting the Westgold offer, and did they try and answer some of that in the second one?
We'll have to be careful with this one. All I can say is, yes, I think the shareholders might have needed a little bit more disclosure.
G'day, Money Miners. 5th of July, and mate, we're just going to roll straight into it based on yesterday's news of the Ramelius Musgrave Westgold interaction for the Musgrave asset. Westgold have come back and said they will not be improving their offer in response to Ramelius's bid. So why not get the main man himself, that is a great friend of the show. Look, he's a great friend, but will not be getting favourable treatment because of his friend's status. MD of Westgold, Wayne Bramwell. Welcome to Money and Mine again, Cobber.
Boys, good morning. Thank you for taking the time, and always happy to chat. I'm a bit worried though. There's all three of you today, so I had to prepare myself.
Who worries you the most, Wayne?
I don't know. All three of you seem to sort of move the baton around. I mean, you all come up with good questions, and the fact that you normally do the start the potty before I can hear you, and then you launch straight into me.
No, this is straight off the bat today, mate.
We're disappointed, Wayne. We were hoping for a bit of excitement in this deal, and you let us down. You bowed out.
It was very abrupt, the Westgold not improving the offer, Wayne.
Look, sorry to disappoint you guys. Look, I know you wanted to turn it into a Silver Lake, Genesis, St Barbara thing, but who's got the bandwidth for that? I mean, we were very...
We do.
Look, we'll see what else we can do, but in the short term, look, we closed that deal out yesterday. The deal was, and I think in the last potty, if someone wanted to pay more for it, so be it.
And what was the sort of thinking behind just announcing that so shortly after the Ramelius takeover? Was it just, be done and dusted with it all?
Very, very much, Trav, in terms of, look, we saw some value in the deal, and at a certain point, the value wasn't there. So instead of torturing everyone, we thought we'd just close it out and move on. And we moved on very quickly with, the full year and the quarterly results.
Okay, let's step back to your first offer then, Wayne. The 30-cent offer, all scrip for Musgrave. Was this, I guess, the intention then to say, right, this is our offer now. We're not going to budge. We want to look to get it at this value, but we won't be going any higher. Or was it a bit? Were you looking to be a bit fluid, depending on what was going to happen after that?
And look, certainly our view was it wasn't going to be one and done, but the only way to see the bid go up was to get access to the data and do DD. I mean, we're pretty disciplined about M&A here, and without being able to see the raw data, there was no fundamental case to raise the bid. Anyway, we never got into the data room, so the bid had to stand.
I'm a bit curious about what actually, we said yesterday, it looked like, Ramelius had done DD. Did you get the sense they'd been talking for a while, even before you lobbed your first bid, Wayne?
Look, not sure, but Ramelius are a pretty slick outfit. I'm sure there would have been plenty of discussions between Musgrave and Ramelius, as was Musgrave and us. So,
do you think now, if you did want to improve the bid, you could wedge yourself in between Ramelius and Musgrave, or that looks pretty set in stone?
Sadly for the podcast, Matt, I think we're going to. That's very Tuesday. We've moved on for that. It's Wednesday now. We're back into focusing on our own business. So no, there's no counter bid coming here.
So I guess right. Let's look at this going forward. Then we'll put a bit of light on your announcement at the end about you're in a good cash position. You're adding cash. This is and you're consecutively adding cash to your business with your operations. Guess what's next? Now that my word on the decline would be that look, Westgold have now strategically tied up Ramelius with with Musgrave and they're out of the picture. What's next for Westgold? Now, 3 stocks that just come to mind for me are, well, GCY previously, SPR now, Spartan, and you've also got Great Boulder and Alto in the region. Is something that'd have to be on the radar, Wayne?
Look, I'm pretty. Have you guys got my office bugged? I mean, or can you read my whiteboard? I'm not sure what's going on here. Look.
Well, you just flick the camera around onto the whiteboard, mate, if you don't mind.
Look, we've got a pretty active business development angle here, but the focus is very much about making sure we can make this business more profitable. I mean, we've got a pretty exciting internal stream of development targets with the expansion of Big Bell and Great Fingal. And there's some other things that we already own now, which again, we closed 3 mines this year. One of those things will come back. But look, for us, and maybe this is a key point, M&A can be quite addictive. You know, you can get white line fever with this stuff. It's actually much harder to be practical and disciplined about it. So we're very much running a practical and disciplined model here. When things make sense, they have a certain value, we're happy to look at them. But if the value's not there for us, we very quickly move on.
And Wayne, on the M&A front, is it exclusive to the sort of Murchison broader region that you're looking, or do you guys, run the ruler over the broader WA and Australian gold landscape?
Very much, Trav. I mean, look, in WA, Westgold is the name, and we've looked at some other things in the last 12 months. But yeah, certainly gold is where we want to be. We're not going to go to North America, Asia or Africa. Those places are not for us. And I think the journey of others there would tell us that better to stick to the bits we're good at, and we're good at Australia.
We haven't got the full camera set up here. That's JD you're talking to, Wayne. I better get
sorry,
you.
JD.
Just, mate, but I guess is Westgold set on that region, where whatever that region, like the Q Meekatharra region or in and around Murchison, are you set on that area, or other opportunities in WA? Do they come into the front for you?
Well, I can only answer that in 2 manners. I mean, the whole strategy this year was to look at ways to leverage the existing infrastructure. The company spent a lot of money and the capital is sunk in the Murchison. So the trick is, how do we leverage that capital for higher returns for our shareholders? So that's the prime focus. But certainly, look, it's probably no secret. We've looked at other things throughout Western Australia. So, yep, our home is the Murchison. That's a great place to be, and we're now starting to get runs on the board there. But certainly other parts of the geography is not out of the question.
And Wayne, we've got a couple of questions from the money miners themselves that we want to pitch to you.
We threw it out to the Hooteroo chat.
Well,
the
now I'm in
Hooteroo
trouble.
chat.
Okay, here we go.
So they didn't. One of these might have come from us, but we won't tell you which one.
So the first one we want to hear what you've got to say on is just regarding to projects with refractory ore. Is it immediately a pass, or how do you guys sort of view that?
Look, it's a damn good question. Once upon a time, I was a metallurgist, so I can understand refractory ore. But there's refractory and refractory. I mean, refractory is one of those words which has got a broad range. Some refractory things are just, you can fix the refractory nature of some ore bodies by just grinding them more. Others need more esoteric things like pressure oxidation. For me, not averse to things that need to be ground, pressure oxidation and other things. Look, I've worked in that space, and I'm not sure that's a space that we'd want to dive into. Purely
so
because
KCGM you'd class as refractory essentially, because they have to have the high grind with a bit lower recovery. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. But, things with pressure oxidation, probably not our skill set.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was one investor in the Hooteroo group chat, which, by the way, if you're not in there, money miners, get in there.
Well, come in, Wayne. Come in, mate. Heaps of bloody, on myself in that
learn
chat.
something if I dive in there.
I'll let you in.
And so, there's an investor in Westgold, and he was pretty curious to know if you guys have finished tapping the capital, the equity capital markets now. It's been a while since the last raise, but he's pretty keen to know that there wouldn't be any more dilution planned now that there's some cash build happening.
I think today's announcement about cash position probably answers the question. I mean, we've got our cash balance is growing, 192 million for the full year. We're fully funded to do everything we need to do next year, and that's a great place for the company to be. It's probably that first.
Now, another one. What is the plan to replace the stockpiled ore once it runs out?
Well, That's a good question there, Matt. I mean, as I said, we've closed 3 undergrounds this year. One of those will certainly come back. We're starting to look at the other open pit opportunities, which we haven't really done much work on around, say, Cuttingwarra, at Kew, and certainly around the Mincor region. So, the cupboard is not bare. Anyone who thinks that our assets are skinny is a little mistaken. I mean, in the last 12 months, the drilling we've done has extended the life of all of our underground mines. The exploration team has been working up some greenfield targets, and in the middle are things that haven't been touched for a long time. So, yep, watch this space. There's still plenty of assets within the Murchison that we will bring on, and as long as we can make money out of them, things that we own 100%, you'll see some more development of that.
Wayne, I've got one more, and this is my curiosity coming out here.
Okay.
So we saw Musgrave initially respond to your offer with a letter to shareholders, and then they came back with an additional letter to shareholders only 2 days later. It felt like they were answering a few critiques that were pointed their way, and we thought the most logical person or place the critiques had come from was probably Westgold. Can you lend a bit of colour? Were you a bit unhappy with the first letter that went out rejecting the Westgold offer, and did they try and answer some of that in the second one?
We'll have to be careful with this one. All I can say is, yes, I think their shareholders might have needed a little bit more disclosure.
Oh, there we go. We got the confirmation. I like it.
Well,
Great.
Wayne, I know you're not going to give anything away, and I'm learning a lot about how to deal with you, and I've got to tailor my questions accordingly to try and get something out of you. But let's look at Gascoyne, outtake, Great Boulder. Okay, let's look at Gascoyne. What do you think of the operation, the promising, the drill hits, the potential for that, just as an operation?
Look, I'll tip my hat to Simon and to Nick Jolly and the full team that's been drilling that thing. Never looks fantastic. That company, what's its new name? Spartan,
mate. I said, are they trying to highlight that they're going to get a 300 mil market cap with the Spartan?
I like it. No, I think you can have some fun with that. Look, done a great job. Look, when we looked at Gascoyne as it was back then, the whole idea was about trucking Big Bell ore down to the Dalgaranga mill. When diesel was 80 cents a litre, that made sense. When diesel went to $1.66, that idea disappeared. So look, for us, we like everything else in the region. We watch it. They're very successfully growing that resource, but for us, we've got enough of our own development targets and to be really getting distracted with that.
And then I guess Alto, so they've got nearly 1 million ounces, all close to surface, but Westgold's skill set is in the underground mining, and there is a lot of, watch the presentation from Bowlesy talking about the amount of exploration below 200 metres, which was essentially bugger all in that area.
Yep.
What about that as an operation, mate, looking from an underground skill set?
Look, Matt and the guys have done fantastic work out there, and the sandstone belt is a bit like Kew Meekatharra in some sense. Everyone thinks it's been drilled to death. The reality is there's not a lot of deep drilling in sort of between Meeka and Kew. Sandstone's even is similar. The previous history of sandstone was largely open pit and a few high-grade undergrounds, but that's a package which is screaming out to be consolidated. There's 3 or 4 operators in the sandstone belt. Our original model was to creep into Alto and think about that. But at the moment, the focus is very much Kew to Meekatharra. I think that's another region which people should watch because, it's really a ripe consolidation play there.
Right. Now, for the third company, I've been sent a meme from an anonymous person. I'm just going to put it up to the camera to you.
Listen, the Great Boulder crew, they are fantastic, aren't they?
I will not say where I got that from. It shall remain anonymous.
Look, I might have had an email from someone from them yesterday. Look, I'm telling you, just call. We're happy to chat. Look, Westgold's an open book now. Always happy to help the juniors out. And if there's ways to monetize their resources, look, if it makes sense for both companies, always happy to chat.
You might have been the same bloke that sent it to me who you emailed. Who knows? Boys, you got anything else for Wayne? Don't let him get it, mate. He's got us sorted, but we will get. I reckon, Trav, you did get a bit of info. We're working Wayne out.
It was good insight. I'm curious to understand your relationship with Ramelius in all of this. I mean, like, I'm a little bit confused by they've got their fingers in a lot of pies and they're trying to grow stuff and now consolidate and add ounces and all that sort of stuff. Like, how do you think about Ramelius's role in the Murchison region long term, and what's your discourse with them given you were competing for the same asset here?
Look, I haven't met Mark. I've been meaning to meet Mark. I will at some point soon. I know some of his team quite well, but for us, for Westgold, in some sense, they're a benchmark. They are a very successful outfit. Look, we produce more gold than them, but they produce more cash. They've got debt, we've got none. They've got a hedge book, we don't. We've got an underground mining skill set, they use contractors. So, look, I look to them in some sense as a benchmark of what Westgold can become. I very much like their model, the fact they've got, they've stepped outside the Murchison, they've got another footprint in another part of Western Australia. And I think that strategy is really smart. I mean, full credit to Ramelius. And clearly they wanted the Musgrave assets more than we did, and they were prepared to pay. So, yeah, I tip my hat to them. And I think that might have been their 7th or 8th M&A deal in the last 5 or 6 years. And that shows the, I guess, the requirement or the need for them to get bigger.
Are you looking to, I guess, emulate a bit what they've done with Westgold going forward, like minimal, like to none, like, because Ramelius haven't really raised any cash in the previous years. They've added a lot to the balance sheet. Are you looking to set yourself up with the position you're in to, without any, to just keep adding cash to that balance sheet, no capital raising, and really, I guess, I don't want to say you're going to copy what they've done, but head on the same path?
Oh, well, look, no, Matt, I like their model. I mean, not having to raise cash, building balance sheet strength is key for us. And I think cash is king. I mean, most importantly, our hedge book is done in July. That will sort of supercharge our profitability. And with cash, that provides us optionality to do other things. So
I've got one more potential M&A opportunity.
Okay,
Wayne.
what do we got?
now that we hear that you might be okay exploring outside of Murchison, I'll stop talking about Murchison for once. And this one, speaking, you raised the point of how important it is to have existing infrastructure that's sunk. Well, I can think of Pantoro is now consolidated the Norseman project, and I think that was effective as of 1st of July, so less than half a week away. Is that one you'd consider?
Oh, look, good address, small mill. Again, but as an address, a good address, which is probably underdone on an exploration front. But, there are multiple other locations in WA, which is the same. I mean, this is I think what you're starting to see is the value of processing infrastructure, but also those things can be a liability. If they're too small or they're in the wrong place, well then, and maybe that speaks to another company you were talking about, those things are a plus and a minus. But well done to Paul Smerlick and the team down there, bringing the Tulla piece to the table. That's long overdue, and full credit to them for doing it.
That's what, 600,000 tonne per annum, isn't it? It's pretty small.
1 million tonne per annum.
Is it 1 million?
Yeah.
One.
Yeah. And look, and a bit like the original standalone model for Musgrave. I mean, 500,000 tonnes per annum. Does that make sense? 1 million tonnes per annum. It's depending with the cost structure that we work to in Western Australia. You need a lot of grade to support something that small.
Well, too easy, Wayne. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. And, mate, we don't, God, you're setting the gold standard for investor relations, I feel. And, but I appreciate you answering the hard questions. I don't reckon he didn't give us much again, boys, but he's got...
You're disappointed. I know you're disappointed that we didn't come back and bid for this thing, but that's not the discipline we run to here. Everything has a values set by the buyer, not the seller. We'll move on and focus on the business. But
what is a question that you would never answer, Wayne? What is that question? Do you have topics that are no-go zones for you?
Oh, no, there's one question from the money miners that you might not answer. We didn't read it out before, but they wanted to know the name of your hairdresser.
Ed Owen, he's been trying to work not much for a long time.
Mate, I'd kill to have your hair.
Mate, I reckon we should do we could all get a Wayne look going on to really promote the Westgold story. I love it.
Bring on the memes. Bring on the memes.
Mate, appreciate it, Cobber. We'll no doubt chat to you again soon.
Cheers, Wayne.
Keep up the good work, team.
Keep the deals coming, mate. Then you can come back on.
Roger.
Cheers, mate.
Go well.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Bramwell. Boys, thoughts, clarifications, answer any of your questions.
I think he batted at us off well.
He batted you off, did he, Jaden?
Again, I like the discipline with regard to M&A, the way they go about that. Yeah, sort of remains to be seen on the part of Gascoyne and whatnot. What did you guys take away?
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like they're still hungry. That's the impression I get is they've got an active, inorganic growth program going on, in their four walls, and I reckon we'll see them again soon.
Yeah, because I could nearly, when we're talking about Alto and Great Boulder, I would personally nearly scratch them off, just because Westgold's underground skill set, I reckon they'd look to deploy that very quickly, and Gascoyne is the one that fits that.
You still got to fill that mill. Like, how are they going to do that? Yeah.
Yeah, open pit's definitely not out of the realm of possibility for them, but as you said, you look at their fleet and everything, the fleet that they've got available. We saw that chart in the presentation the other day. Like, the fleet is ready for underground mining.
Underutilised, hey?
Yeah.
I reckon Alto, it just fits there. Fits in. I know you saw them selling shares. I kind of just reckon that's to throw.
I forgot to ask him about that. The 400 grand worth of shares.
That's just to throw the market off. You sell the shares, maybe even your premium's higher when you actually lob a bid. But
yeah. Oh,
guys,
we'll wait and see. Plenty more to come. But yeah, should we have a prediction? Each of us. Should we put a bet on between us?
Yeah. Which company's next?
Which company's next?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Trav? As in which company the Westgold will be going for, or which company will be taken over next?
Yeah. Which company Westgold will go for next?
Right. Who goes first? I'll go first. I'm going to go Gascoyne.
Alto.
I was going to say Gascoyne as well. Can we pick the same one?
Yeah.
Right. Trav owes us a carton each, and we'll give him one in total.
But I want a little specky bet on Pantoro as a left field option too.
Yeah, so we'll give you 5-1 on that one.
All right, deal.
Now on the topic of Gascoyne, the name Spartan Resources. What do you guys reckon?
Now a bit of word on the decline. There was another name, but it said, "Nah, do not choose that."
Oh, interesting.
Well, I don't know what it was.
I think everything's named after gin there, isn't it? So like what
the ore bodies are.
Yeah, Never Never's gin and Dalgaranga was a gin. I was expecting there to be a gin reference, but I can't see it here, Matty.
Bombay Mining.
The cheap gin? No, you can't do that.
No, Bombay's not that cheap. Gordon's, if they called it Gordon's, you'd be bloody up shit.
Oh, that would be funny. Yeah.
But look, what value does it put to it? Like, maybe to the retail, I'm sure it's not like it removes the Gascoyne history for all the fundies and everything. What's the benefit of changing the name? Is it just a legacy thing, or a rebranding, or like
legacy? They're trying to turn a new page, showing you new chapter in the story for the guys there. And what they sort of spoke to in the announcement is the sort of mindset and the culture they're trying to create in the business and whatnot. So they're just turning the leaf, I think.
Yeah, investors have short memories, Matty. Evidenced by the fact that troubled projects continually just keep popping up and being troublesome.
But not the big investors don't have a short like that. They're not going to forget the Gascoyne history, but
I mean, look at Wyloo changed their name a couple times and continued to be troubling, and they managed to keep getting new equity in the door. There's just heaps of projects like that float around.
Wyloo changed their name to Wyloo, and that was probably the worst one, I think. God.
Yeah. You see it a bit, right? Eastern Goldfields changed to Orabanda, and it just lets you build a new story around a new management team.
But when you change the name and keep the same management team, like that's, Anyway.
Well, Delta Lithium, I think it signals that you're going to start marketing hard. That's what it signals to me.
Right, let's talk about Gascoyne then in the context of Westgold taking them with Tembo and Delphi there with the big stakes. Do you think they have a price?
Everyone's
100%.
got a price.
So they've bought in at 10 cents, bought their big chunks at 10 cents.
Well, some of the big shareholders, not all of them. Some
But
of them,
Tembo were in at 10 cents. Were
Tembo,
Delphi
yeah.
in at 10 cents?
they've been in there a while, haven't they?
Mate, they've been a long time. Did
Did they participate in that 10 centre?
They'll be down shitloads.
I think they've
mate.
participated
They've
in the last few.
Fucking lost a lot of money.
But
Yep.
then you've got, okay, let's look at it in the so they're sitting at around, they're 18 and a half today. So there's a bit of, say it gets driven up to 30 with some takeover offers, 30 cents. Tembo looking at a 3x profit on there. I'd say that'd definitely look not too bad for them as a,
Yeah, I mean,
an exit proposition.
firstly, need to disclose that I hold a few as well. But when
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
When it comes to the share price as well, who's the buyer, what's the deal, how much cash? There's a whole bunch of different factors involved.
I think it'd have to be getting up to that sort of 30 cents a share mark to start getting the interest of them.
Yeah, and like we sort of in part saw with the Westgold Ramelius deal, Ramelius came out and they'd won over the big shareholders, West Minex at Musgrave.
Yeah.
That would obviously be a big component here. They'd have to, whoever that potential buyer is, would have to work with those shareholders because the top four hold quite a substantial stake. Delphi, Tembo, First Sentier and their NRW, that's quite a lot of the stock held amongst them.
And you do have that factor playing because they have, as you said, Trav, they have lost a lot of money. It's like, will they
They'll be anchored to a much higher price.
Yeah, will they want to wait for future gains or will they accept losses or at 30 cents, will they have lost money? I'm not sure.
And the other reason I'm a bit skeptical
Tembo definitely haven't.
that's the other reason I'm a bit skeptical it'll be Westgold that moves here is because we just see that they're apprehensive to pay silly premiums. They just bowed out before, getting into that situation. So I just, if they are disciplined, if they have continuity and being disciplined in M&A strategy, I think they'll look to be a bit more opportunistic when companies are battered up rather than
Gascoyne could get
bid up.
too expensive pretty quickly.
But they're not locked into using that mill. Technically, if they bought Gascoyne, they could truck it to Tuckabianna and not just keep that mill turned off, but buy the underground assets. That is
I can
an
see
option.
that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can.
But then they've got the optionality. Then if they do take Alto later on as well, turn the mill back on and really amplify their presence in that Murchison region, there's definitely options.
And speaking of Never Never, which is the exciting discovery there, we did actually see they put out a notice of meeting along with the name change announcement that went out yesterday, and some other things getting approved at that meeting in addition to the company name change, are just some what the director performance rights are going to be, and they're consistent across all directors, which you want to see. But there are some tied to milestones in relation to Never Never that caught my eye. One was an ore reserve of 300,000 ounces, and the other one was a mineral resource of 600,000 ounces. I think that gives you some idea of what the likely scale of Never Never is going to be.
They've been pretty clear about that as well in their presentations. I think it's like they call it the 365 sort of goal or strategy. So.
Yep.
And definitely it'd be the continuity at depth as well. It'd be a big thing for that operation because if they put all the infrastructure in and start mining, but they can then follow it down to 600, 700, 800 metres and really amplify that resource, that'll be a big kicker. So at the moment, there's no evidence that it is getting cut off. So there's definitely a lot of potential for going deeper there with those thick widths. So plenty to watch out for. Boys, Wyloo. Wyloo have, talk about just getting your bloody dick over the line.
I got there.
Far out.
Is that what you call it?
90.15th percent.
Yeah. I think they've still got today as well, so they'll probably get a few more drip in today. But it's compulsory. It's compulsory.
And is that probably what we were saying, the fact that once that new quarter started, the indexes probably started, the shares started coming out of the indexes?
And not just the indexes, but I think in the new financial year, people that wanted to push whatever their position was, whether it be a profit or a loss into the new financial year, they might have always wanted to accept and just wanted to do it after that date, knowing that on the 5th of July was the close date.
Yeah, but they've got they're over 90% acceptances into their offer now, which means for the other 10%, it's a compulsory acquisition. It's going to roll into Wyloo, they're going to get their $1.40 cash as a result of that.
And Mincor will be delisted pretty soon.
Yeah, and mate, it's now it's pretty meaningful for what Wyloo's plans are in WA, right? You see this quote from Luca Gicavazzi. He says, the acquisition of Mincor turns Wyloo into a fully integrated nickel business that brings together high-grade nickel production from Kambalda with our planned downstream processing facility in Kwinana. So, there you go. It's the ore in the long run is going to go to that pecan plant.
But I think the question that still is sitting there for the concentrate, the intermediate process before it goes to that pecan plant is where are they going to process the higher arsenic ore of Cassini at? Because
like the concentrator, which concentrator
are they going to use? Because you got the Nova one. Look, it is within trucking distance, but they're selling that premium clean con, which I think that agreement will be getting redone soon. The one with Trafigura. So, where does the higher arsenic content of that all fit into that mill? Because will they want to actually process it and when they've got a clean con already? So,
but we're going to be hearing a lot less about it. So.
Yeah.
They won't have to disclose much at all once they're a private company.
Yeah, well, this is true. This is true. Right, Red 5. They've exceeded expectations of their quarterly performance. They've put out their pre-annual announcement saying the June quarter churned out just under 62,000 ounces, but the June month they poured 24,000 ounces. So previous month, I think they got 19 at about 1.8 grams, and they've done that again this month. Same, pretty similar grade, but 24,000 ounces. So
the bit I can't piece together, Matty, is why the share price is off like 9% today. It's a positive announcement, beat the market's expectations to the upside.
They've had a good run though. So you put it into sort of perspective of what the three previous quarters were, and you had 24,000 ounces, 36,000 ounces, 41,000, and then the latest quarter, 62,000. So I think if you sort of look at the share price movement as well, people had sort of been buying the rumour in part.
Maybe. But then you still beat the market to the upside. I don't know.
But then if I look at the grade, you would they did have a lot stockpiled on the ROM, but it was a lower grade stockpile. So unless they've had a big grade uplift and they've blended some of that dirt from the ROM, you could though infer that they've mined more material and hauled a lot more material this month to get that extra throughput. So they're running at a rate of 5.5 million tonne per annum at the moment because they didn't have any shutdowns. So whether there's market uncertainty, whether hauling more dirt, they've got more ounces, but has it cost you a lot more to actually haul all that extra dirt with diesel side and everything? It'll be the mining cost that'll be not known yet.
Yeah, they said the costs sort of are likely to fall within guidance, so between 1,750 all-in sustaining and 1,950. But I mean, beyond that, I'm sort of scratching my head as to why the stock would come off 10%.
The other thing we learned in this announcement,
taking profits like some companies from the run they've had from when they were down near 10 cents.
Maybe, but it's still strange. I don't say this very often. But the thing we learned in this announcement was that they ran the plant this month at 5.5 million tonnes per annum, and they actually said that they expect that rate to continue as well. So I don't know.
For reference, nameplate is 4.7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but then you throw in your quarterly shutdowns. That'll obviously drop that back from 5.5 on an annual rate.
Yeah.
So they've obviously had a great month of mill utilisation, considering in the May they had 3 days shutdown, and they still I think they achieved 4.8 around about 4.7 run rate. So I think once you add in those quarterlies, it'll drop it off a bit.
Yeah. I can't work it out. Hopefully someone can explain it to me that's a bit smarter than I am.
No, good. And look, great news, obviously. We did say that some good news out of companies like Red 5, Calidus and Pantoro would be a good thing for the gold market and development stories to show that not everyone loses money forever.
Well, they're looking ripe as a takeover target now, Matty.
Do you think they would have been more of a takeover target, but if they had a shit month?
I think any acquirer, especially one that doesn't have cash producing themselves yet, needs to know that their balance sheet is robust and it's getting better, not worse. So you just need confidence that they're over the hump before you lob a bid if you don't have your own cash to, keep things up.
Well, and this will tie in a bit to the next story, and we'll talk about who is going to take them over if they do get taken over. Bellevue sign a toll treating deal with Genesis. Okay, so Genesis will be processing the open pit material from Bellevue in the September quarter. So Bellevue are obviously still waiting on their plant to be commissioned, so that's predicted for the December quarter. Haul at 170 Ks down to the Wyloo processing plant, 100,000 tonne predicted at about 3 grams per tonne, so a bit under 10,000 ounces. Good for Bellevue and very good for Genesis as well, because we did highlight the other day, this 6 months taking over Wyloo, waiting for that Admiral open pit ore to come online. Very critical period for Genesis to try and not hemorrhage money or lose money, as we saw that Wyloo does on standalone. Let's say 100,000 tonne at $50 a tonne toll treating, so there's $5 million in the door for Genesis.
Yeah, I'm interested in digging a bit more on the Bellevue side of things. So, like you said, estimate, we don't really know, but $5 million worth of costs plus the mining costs, and just under 10,000 ounces at the tonnes and grade they gave is roughly 27 million. So a bit of cash in the door, and I'm keen to hear what you guys sort of think, what the read-through is and what the sort of cash position is like at Bellevue. So the stock's up a bit. Now that might be investors thinking, oh, they might have had to raise, and now that's not so much of a concern. We saw in the last quarterly that they've got $165 million in unused financing facilities, but there's conditions around it, and they're not ticking those boxes. I don't feel like they've got access to that, because they would have, in all likelihood announced that they had drawn down on debt. Most companies do.
Yeah, this is the piece I can't quite figure out with Bellevue. So they got that, the facility was undrawn. When you looked at it the last quarter, it was all asterisked as maybe there were still some conditions that needed to be met before Macquarie were happy to let them draw down. Then you saw, I think it was last month, just about a month ago, they said the final permit was received. In my head, I was kind of thinking maybe that was the last thing before they would be allowed to draw down the facility.
Yeah, that was one of the conditions.
Yeah, because they've gone through a big process with native title and everything to get this Bellevue project up and going. So whether, again, Macquarie were wanting everything to be finalised and the mill running, or pretty bloody close.
Probably be a CP that all approvals are in place. But the other angle of it too is like, interest rates are super fucking high right now. So you probably want to draw it down as late as possible so that you're not incurring that interest.
Geez, Trav's swearing a lot in this episode, isn't he? How good is it?
Yeah, mate, spending too much time together. But it's still, you still think... I would have expected them to draw it down by now. I'll be curious to see what happens at the quarter.
27 or $28 million in revenue, and you're paying $5 million, say, in fees.
In haulage,
that's roughly just under 20%, I mean, that's money they could have got in the door without that toll fee, say, in half a year or a bit longer. So it's not, they're giving away a bit.
Was this ore in the main mine plan before? So was this like some of the first ore to go in the mine plan?
Can't say.
Can't comment.
I know it's fresh. It's fresh material from the bottom of this Vanguard pit. So they're doing a cutback.
I would have assumed
and they're taking it from the bottom of that pit. So but then, we estimate $50 a tonne. It depends on if it requires more grinding, if it requires more cyanide reagents, it can go up. Probably a couple more questions than answers in that sort of segment, but I'm really fascinated to see.
It's a lot of trucking for green gold, mate.
Yeah. So we're going to see, this month they'll have to have the quarterly
I don't know if they're
out.
electric trucks or not.
They teleport over there to the mill, mate.
We'll see the quarterly come out later this month, and we'll see what the sort of asterisks are around that debt again.
Unless there's, you could maybe predict that this extra cash might be needed for some CapEx blowouts. If there's a CapEx blowout to cover that, not sure.
Maybe.
During in this environment,
we'll be looking at the quarterly.
It is a risk a risk for CapEx.
Yeah, they got a lot of debt in that facility that you'd think would cover things, but they just haven't access to yet.
maybe a bit of colour coming in the upcoming quarterly for Bellevue. So, and look, good for Genesis, as we said, and we'll tie that into what we're talking about with Red 5 takeout. They seem to be running all right now. That mill is key for that area. You could predict if Genesis looked to take Red 5 in the future, that Gwalia mill would just turn off and everything would just get trucked to the King of the Hill mill. You'd nearly think.
Yeah, okay.
Depending on how much, because where's for the short term until like Tower Hill and Admiral and that come online. So Tower Hill's still a few years away. Admiral's 6 months away. Ulysses, as we said in the episode the other day, looks like beyond 2 years away. It's ready for development. They're not committing that that's going to be in the mine plan for the next 2 years. Until all that's online, I couldn't see. Then you'd think, right, both mills would be running. But logical thing in the short term, if they did take Red 5 within the next 12 months, they'd nearly shut the Gwalia mill off and just send it all to King of the Hill.
So that stock that St. Barbara shareholders are going to get, Genesis stock, hasn't yet been issued. So we'll have to sort of
Which ding, ding,
When's
ding.
that? Mid-July, eh? I think it's mid this month.
I think I got something in the mail. I haven't opened yet. But yeah, it was an in-specie distribution. So ding, 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 my $500 of St. Barbara stock, I've now got an interest in Genesis by virtue of that in-specie distribution. So I just need to disclose that one.
Trav's following the Atlantic story heavily at the moment. Atlantic
mate.
and Simberi.
I love the integrity of our business.
I mean, bag holder.
Good stuff, boys. Bloody, geez, that had some good energy about it today. What do you reckon?
Pretty gold day, wasn't it?
It was a gold day.
It's because I went to the gym yesterday. I'm pumped, and I got me vape back.
It was the vape, mate.
I think it's because I got me vape. Sorry, Money Miles.
Love it. Hootaroo, guys.
The information contained in this episode of Money of Mine is of general nature only and does not take into account the objectives, financial situation or needs of any particular person. Before making any investment decision, you should consult with your financial advisor and consider how appropriate the advice is to your objectives, financial situation and needs.